Hi, hola, konnichiwa. I'm Anthony. I'm your host here at Kana To Kanji, where you guys are following my journey of going from absolutely knowing nothing about Japanese to fluency. I am a beginner when it comes to learning Japanese. I am fluent in English and Spanish, and I am using this channel to document my journey to fluency. So today's video is actually going to be about a video that showed up in my recommendations, and it is about how to get fluent in 1 year. Now, the video itself is about how to get fluent in Korean, but if you know anything about learning languages, a lot of the habits, studies, discipline that you use to learn one language is completely transferable to another language. So I haven't actually watched this video yet, so we'll be watching it together for the first time. The video is 16 minutes long, so I may not watch the whole thing, but I will leave a link in my description to the video. So if it does interest you, you can go ahead and go and watch the video there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, here we are. So we've got Metapisme? Metapisme is her name. I'm not sure. I am so sorry if I'm butchering your name. But the first thing I'm going to do here is subscribe. And let's go ahead and play the video and see what our friend has to say.
Hi guys! Today I'm filming out of the comfort of my own home. My boyfriend Espi was so nice to set up this cute studio at home. I mean, look at Bongo. Isn't it a dream that I can talk to you guys while also having Bongo sleep next to me? I want to cry. Okay guys, we are here for a really important reason today. You probably saw the title. I know that a lot of you guys who watch my videos are interested in Korea and in learning Korean. Me personally, I'm fluent in Korean, and I'm not saying that to flex on you. I'm saying that because I know how it is to learn a new language, and I got the highest Korean certificate after 2.5 years of studying Korean, and I was able to hold Korean conversations fluently after less than a year of learning Korean. So if you ever wanted to learn Korean fluently and you felt like it's impossible, I'm here to tell you it's not. Here are the problems that I sometimes hear people talk about. They say, I don't have money to take classes, I don't have any Korean friends to practice with, or I haven't lived in Korea ever. Of course, these three things are helpful if you have them to learn Korean, but with this studying plan that I created, you don't need money, you don't need Korean friends, and you also don't need to move to Korea. You just need the right system, and I created it for you. So this 12-month studying plan that I created, it's split into 5 phases. And if you follow this plan consistently for 12 months, I promise you, by this time next year, you'll be able to hold conversations in Korean fluently. And I'm not giving any vague advice. I'm not telling you to watch more K-drama. I'm giving you a real plan that works. And no, you don't need to pay me for that. It's all in this video. Imagine I do this whole intro and I'm like, yeah, pay me $30 for your studying plan. No, it's in this video. Don't worry. Most people who try to learn Korean and tell me that they failed, usually there's a very simple reason for that. It's because in the way that they're studying, they don't really have a plan of what they're doing. It seems like they're not making any progress, and that leads to them giving up after a month or two. But learning Korean isn't about luck, it's about consistency. So if you follow this 5-step plan for a whole year, you will be fluent. But the key is you have to stick with the plan. Okay, please don't be scared. 12 months sounds scary. It's not scary, okay? This is fun. This is gonna be a fun 12 months. So let's break it down. Step number 1 is all about building your Korean foundation. Now,
Before we go on, and I love this so far, I do love this video so far. I'm glad I subscribed. But she said that by this time next year, if you follow this plan, you will be fluent in Korean. And I think what a lot of people forget is that time is going to pass anyway, right? So whether or not you stick to your plan to do something for a year or not, that year's still going to go by. So you might as well do what it was that you planned on doing during that time and be a year ahead and a year closer to your goal than 1 year where you haven't done anything. Her cat's adorable. I love her studio. I love the editing so far. I'm always watching other people's videos to get an idea of what they're doing with their editing and see if I can replicate things that I like. But so far, so good. So yes, so step 1, building your Korean foundation. So let's hear what she has to say.
This first step takes 1 month. Now, this first step is inevitable. You have to learn the Korean writing system, Hangul. So how we're going about this is, and this is also going to apply to all the following months, I'm giving you a set list of daily tasks that you have to complete every day. And now for this first month, you can expect 30 to 45 minutes of daily tasks every day. Now, during the first 2 weeks of this first month, you have to learn Hangul, and there are a lot of online resources. You can either look at YouTube videos or at websites where they explain the Korean writing system. And once you understand the logic behind it, you just have to memorize it with flashcards. I'm giving you 2 weeks to do this max. You don't need more than 2 weeks, and it's fine if you cannot read Korean in the fastest pace ever after these 2 weeks, because you're going to study Korean for 12 months. So during these 12 months, you're also going to be able to read faster. So please, it's fine. Don't be scared even if you cannot read Korean super fast after 2 weeks. It also took me some time to read Korean fast. You just gotta understand the logic behind Hangul and memorize what all the little letters look like. And then from week 3 to week 4, you're going to learn 30 essential survival phrases. So phrases like self-introductions, ordering food, asking about the weather, asking for directions, things like that. Again, it's really easy to find these phrases online. Essential phrases are everywhere. So you're just gonna learn 30 of them during week 3 or 4. And starting from week 3, what you're also gonna do is you're gonna write 3 sentences in Korean every day. I know that might sound difficult, but it's okay. Even if you use Google Translate, it's fine. You can write any 3 sentences that you want. It's really going to be super helpful. So by the end of month 1, you should be able to read Korean, say basic survival phrases, and start forming basic sentences. Now we're moving to step number 2. Step number 2 is from month 2 to month 3. During this stage, you're gonna need a little more time than during the first month. Step number 2 is all about building your core vocabulary and some writing skills. And your daily tasks are gonna take about 30 to 60 minutes. Number 1, you're gonna learn 5 new words every day. You can use any flashcard app or make your own flashcards with paper, whichever method you prefer. Just learn 5 new words every day. And of course, you need to revise them every day and get them down so you don't forget them. Task number 2, and this is one of my favorite tasks. Of course, I did this myself too. You're going to write a diary in Korean. You only need to write 3 to 5 sentences every day in Korean about your day. Don't stress too much about it. It's okay to use a translator, because even if you use a translator, you're learning these new daily words by repetitively using them. Because when I was writing my diary in Korean, it started with, today I went to the university. The weather was nice. And then I went to a cafe with my friends. Sentences like that, and you're gonna keep using the word for university, and at one point you will remember what the Korean word for university is. This is actually really fun. And also, by writing this diary every day, you're gonna have a big comparison of what your diary entries looked like in the beginning and what they look like in the end. And your third and last daily task is reading 1 short webtoon chapter or 1 short article in Korean every day. I recommend looking up all vocabulary that you don't know yet, and you don't necessarily need to memorize these words that you find in the webtoon or in the articles, but it's good if you keep looking them up until you remember them. So by completing these daily tasks, by the end of month 3, you should now know 1,000 words in Korean. I know it sounds like a lot, but you studied 5 new words every day, so you are at 1,000 words now. You should also now be able to write simple thoughts in Korean because you were writing your diary every day. And you should also be able to recognize some Korean words in written Korean. Let's move on to step 3. This is from month 4 to month 6. This phase is all about building listening and speaking skills. By the way, it's actually pretty cool if you keep doing the tasks from the previous month, like reading a webtoon, because the way webtoons are written, it's spoken language that is in a written way, so that's also going to help you speak in a very natural Korean if you keep reading webtoons. So during step 3, your daily tasks are going to take somewhere around 45 to 60 minutes. I recommend filling the whole 60 minutes. So let's go through the daily tasks for this step. First of all, you're going to listen to 1 5-minute podcast every day. There are a lot of podcasts on Spotify, or you can also go on YouTube to listen to podcasts. It really doesn't matter. Find anything that you enjoy listening to. Task number 2 is repeating 5 sentences every day. So you're going to mimic what a native speaker is saying and try to say it just like them. You can just use the podcast that you were listening to do that. For example, Talk to Me in Korean, they have a lot of speaking videos, so you can definitely use them as a resource, or anything else you can find, honestly. It can also be a K-drama or any Korean variety show. This is more about mimicking the pronunciation and the intonation that native speakers have. And the third and last daily task, this one's one of my favorites. You're going to record a 1-minute voice note every day where you just talk. You can talk about anything you want in Korean. It can be anything. You can talk about your day just like you did with your diary entries, or you can talk about something that you like. You can talk about your cat. You can talk about anything. You can also talk about how difficult it is to be consistent and study Korean for 60 minutes every day. It's tough. Why I really like this why I really like this voice note exercise. The reason why I love this voice note exercise is because it takes you out of your embarrassment of actually opening your mouth and speak in Korean. Nobody's scared to read inside their mind like silently because they know nobody hears them. So by doing these voice notes daily, you're gonna get really comfortable with audibly speaking, hearing yourself speak Korean, and you're gonna feel less awkward about it or like think that it's cringy or anything. And also, it really doesn't matter if you do any mistakes during this 1 minute. Mistakes do not matter at all. By the end of month...
Okay, I really like that. So step 3, 4 to 6 is when you start doing listening and speaking skills. The speaking, waiting until month 4 to 6 to start actually speaking, I really think that's a great idea, because if you've been doing everything that she's been saying, or if you've been putting in a lot of work and you've got a lot of input, at some point you do need to start doing output and putting that out there. I know when I first started learning Spanish, it was a lot of listening, a lot of reading, a lot of writing before I actually started really speaking. And I was fortunate enough to work around Spanish-speaking people, to go to school with Spanish-speaking people, to be in school and learn Spanish as well. So I definitely agree with that. The voice note thing is interesting. I never thought of that, but it does make sense that the more you listen to yourself speaking in another language, it gets those jitters out. You don't feel as nervous. I can definitely see how that helps. So let's keep going.
6, we're already halfway through. You should be able to understand common phrases when spoken in Korean. You should be able to pronounce Korean more naturally, and you should be able to hold basic conversations. Now let's move to step 4. Step 4 is from month 7 to month 9, and it's all about conversational fluency and grammar expansion. Now, starting from month 7, your daily tasks are definitely gonna take 60 minutes, and the tasks are getting a bit more difficult, but they're still super fun, and by this time, they're also gonna match your skill level, so don't be scared about it. Now, let's get into your daily tasks. Task number 1 is following structured dialogues. What I mean by this is that you're going to read along with structured Korean dialogues. For example, you can use the Talk to Me in Korean PDFs. This sounds so much like I'm sponsored by Talk to Me in Korean, but I'm not. They just have good resources, but feel free to also use any other resources that you can find. I also really hope that you guys help each other out in the comments and recommend stuff to each other. So you're gonna read along with the dialogue while listening to it. And then you're also going to mimic one full conversation every day. So you're gonna read the conversation out loud and act it out. So basically, you're gonna role play dialogues every day. What you're also gonna do is making your diary entries a little bit longer. So until month 6, they were from 3 to 5 sentences. Now I think we can raise the length to 5 to 10 sentences. And you're also going to record yourself speaking daily, but instead of 1 minute, we're gonna make it 2 minutes. It's also okay if you do the 2-minute voice notes only every weekend. But of course, the more the better. But we also don't want you to get super tired of studying in Korean. So yeah, just see what you feel like. I think every weekend for the 2-minute voice notes is gonna be fine, but daily is the best. So if you keep doing these tasks by the end of month 9, you should be able to hold short Korean conversations comfortably. Grammar should make sense to you in context. What I have to say here is there's no dedicated task to grammar in my whole studying plan, because I believe that you can actually learn and understand grammar really well if you keep seeing it in the same context. Most of the grammar that I use, I have never actually studied it. I just heard it so much that I realized in what context it really is used, and also it made me feel more confident in actually using that grammar. However, whenever you see a grammar structure that you're not sure about what it is or what it means, just look it up, read an explanation, and that's all. You can see the studying plan, it really requires you to be proactive because there is no free, effortless way to get to fluency in a language. You have to be proactive, interested, motivated, and consistent. But it's fun. It's fun, okay? Also, by the end of month 9, at this point, you should be able to understand full Korean conversations that are like on a beginner level. Now let's move to step 5. Step 5. This is the last step, guys. And step number 5 takes 3 months. So from month 10 to month 12, let's take a look at your daily tasks. Your daily tasks are gonna take 60 to 90 minutes. Honestly, probably 90 minutes. But it's really fun. But there's a reason why your daily tasks take a bit longer, because your daily task number 1 is watching Korean content on YouTube or Netflix or anywhere without any subtitles. I know it sounds scary, but this is all about getting your ears comfortable to actually listening. Because if you have the content, even if the subtitles are in Korean too, you're gonna be reading along instead of actually listening. And this way, without the subtitles, you're really gonna train your ears and your brain to be able to catch the words that the people are actually saying without reading along. I recommend starting with simple YouTube vlogs. I mean, I talk in Korean sometimes in my vlogs, but I think you will find a lot of Korean vloggers too. So you can watch their content, or Korean variety shows are also pretty good to practice this. Now, task number 2 is you're going to write your diary entries, 5 to 10 sentences, just like previously. However, you're not going to use a translator anymore. If there is a word that you don't know, it's still okay to look it up. But the reason why you shouldn't use a translator unless it's absolutely necessary is that you're going to try to write your diary entries just with the Korean that you have, so that you're not going to keep trying to translate what you already want to say in your native language. You're going to try to create the sentences in Korean and make yourself start thinking in Korean in the words that you already know. Otherwise, you're just going to translate from your native language. You get what I mean? Task number 3 is you're going to practice talking in Korean with AI chatbots. So there are a lot of these AI chats that you can use to practice conversations in Korean. For example, you can go on HelloTalk or like other apps, just find a way to, or you can even use ChatGPT. It's just all about like getting in a conversation. You can generally speak to ChatGPT. Try to speak at least for 5 minutes. So your own speaking time should be at least 5 minutes every day. If you've done all your daily tasks consistently, by the end of month 12, you should be able to, number 1, hold full conversations in Korean. Number 2, think in Korean instead of translating to Korean. Number 3, understand spoken Korean in daily situations. That's it. 1 full year.
Okay, that was really good. I really enjoyed that video. The last thing that she said about being able to think in the language, I think that's super important. You know, when I'm speaking Spanish, I'm not thinking in English. I'm not thinking about it in English unless it's a word that I'm struggling with or I don't really know. But for the most part, I'm thinking in Spanish and I'm speaking in Spanish. And when I listen in Spanish. That kind of sounds weird, but it's true. Like when I'm listening to Spanish, I'm not translating it into English. So I think this was a really good video. I think that she has a very good solid plan. I think if you follow that plan, you will definitely reach fluency in any language, whether it's Korean, Japanese, Spanish, French, Italian, doesn't really matter. But what I think is the most important is to actually just do something. I think a lot of times we get, what am I looking for? We get so focused on trying to learn how to do something instead of actually doing it. So what do I mean? I mean watching videos on how to learn Korean, watching videos on how to learn Japanese instead of just learning Japanese, right? Or just learning Korean. Stop trying to figure out how to do something and just do it. And then you'll figure it out as you go. You'll find out what works for you. You'll find out what doesn't work for you. And it's your journey. Make it your own. So thank you guys so much. Arigato for watching this video. Share your thoughts, share your comments, share what you think, some tips, some resources that have helped you along your way. I'd love to see those and read those in the comments as well. So that's all I got for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.